सुरू करायचं का?
हो हो सुरू करा सर.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, one and all. Today, we're going to discuss the topic friendly communication or everyday communication in English. Initially, I would like to thank Principal Dr. Rajesh Lakne for giving me this opportunity to have a dialogue with you all. Actually, I shall focus on some of the important situations where we can use day-to-day communication. And these situations are very important. These points that I'm going to focus are very important to develop a dialogue, good dialogue in English. Friends, we know that in everyday communication, if someone is using good English, proper English, that person is appreciated by his or her friends. And he can create his own image by dint of whatever knowledge he has of communicating English. So, in everyday situation, communication in English is also an important part of our life. I'm very happy that today we shall discuss these important aspects of everyday communication. Friends, I shall give you 5 important points. If you have notebooks, you may note down these points while listening to my lecture. These points are very important for the beginners to understand communicative English. If you want to start, if you want to begin with English conversation, these 5 points that I am going to deal with today are very important for beginners. My lecture is basically meant for the students who are the participants in this course and not for the resource persons or experienced people. I shall give you 5 important points. You may note down these points. How do we start communication? What is the basic method of communication? How do we begin the communication in English? Actually, in particularly in Marathi context, and if it is a rural area, we generally don't greet, or sometimes we greet if we are educated. But in rural area also, there are some ways of greeting people in Marathi. But in English, every conversation begins with greeting. So greeting people and introducing yourself is the first point that I'm going to discuss today. So my first point, among the 5 points, my first point is greeting people and introducing yourself. So greeting people, how do we greet? What do you mean by greeting? Some people do not know the meaning of greeting also. So greet people. What is the meaning of greeting? You know that greeting cards or greetings are given. So greetings are the good wishes of that particular occasion, of particular situation. When we say good morning, we wish that particular person good wishes of that situation. That is good morning. So greeting people is the first point I'm elaborating. How do we say when we meet in the morning, for example, we say good morning. We can say hello also. Hello is also possible. At around 12 o'clock, we say good noon. Good noon, everybody. Then afternoon, is there. Good afternoon. At around or after the noon, we have good afternoon. Many people do not know good noon. We don't use good noon, friends. We know good morning, we know good afternoon, but we do not know good noon. At around 12 o'clock, or when the sun is on our head, generally above the head, we have to use good noon. That is the normal situation we should know. So, hello, good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening. These are the expressions that we use to greet people. Actually, some situational greetings are also there. We can say Eid Mubarak, we can say Happy Makar Sankranti, Happy Gudi Padwa, or Merry Christmas. So these are the situational greetings, no doubt about that. But these are not included in everyday communication. So greeting people and introducing yourself is the first stage in your communication, day-to-day communication. So friends, you must know that greeting is the first important stage in our day-to-day communication. Stage, I would say, is very important. So greeting people and introducing yourself is the first important key of our day-to-day communication. When do we need to introduce yourself? We need to introduce ourselves when we are new in the context. For your friends, you don't need to introduce yourself every day. But suppose you are going to the principal, and if you are honorable principal's cabin, if you are newcomer, you have recently taken the admission in that college, and in that context, you need to introduce yourself. You need to introduce yourself to your new friends, to your teachers. So once that situation comes in your life, that when new person you are talking to, you need to introduce yourself. So introducing yourself is also an important thing in everyday communication. When you are new to that situation, to that context, to the person you are talking to, you have to communicate, you have to introduce yourself. That is also important. So how to introduce yourself? So we can say, for example, I am talking to Dr. Principal Dr. Latne. I can say, and we don't know each other. Then I can say, good morning, sir. I am Dr. Awatade from Solapur University, from Shankarao Mohite Mahavidyalaya. So in this way, I must introduce myself. I am Dr. Awatade. So introducing yourself is also an important thing in our life as far as beginning of the conversation is concerned, beginning of the communication is concerned. Understand? So hello is also there. Some people do not know. Hello can be used by two ways. It is also a formal greeting, and in some situations it is informal. With your friends, you can say hello, and also one more thing, that is hi. In friendly communication, hi is very informal. In the context of hi, there is no need to introduce yourself, because hi is so familiar, so close kind of thing, that you know each other very well. You are very, very good friends. Good friends of your two good friends can say hi. Hi Raj, hi Sanju, hi Pinky. So in that context, there is no need to say hi honorable principal. We cannot say like this. With our friends only, we can say hi. Very close friends, hi. So hi is also a greeting expression. It is also introducing, it is also used to begin the conversation. So my first stage that I talked about is greeting people and introducing yourself. I I told you about these situations. Sometimes people use different tricks also. On, for example, Makar Sankranti, in the morning you can say Happy Makar Sankranti, Happy Gudi Padwa, Eid Mubarak. But these are the situational greetings. Remember this thing. Just I told you earlier. So not used in everyday communication. But we must know all these greeting expressions that we use in day-to-day communication. I would like to ask you one question or one simple point I would like to raise, that can we use good night as a greeting expression? So friends, I tell you, good night is never a greeting expression. It is a parting expression. It is used as leave taking expression. It is used, for example, as a farewell expression. Understand what I said? So friends, good night is never used to start the conversation. If someone says, for example, two friends meet each other in the market and someone says good night, it means he implies not to stop at that moment, but just say good night. Don't start the conversation in that context. Just to say farewell, just to say goodbye, just to say good night in that context, and that is the farewell or leave taking expression. So we cannot use, as my basic concept or my basic point that I would like to raise is, we cannot use good night as a greeting expression. So for greeting people, and particularly in everyday communication, particularly in friendly communication, we have to be very formal. We have to be very informal and sometimes formal. And for that, we use hi, good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening, and hello. So these are the expressions that we should use to start the conversation, to begin the conversation. I think my point of this greeting people and introducing yourself is clear to you. So this is the first point in everyday communication. If you want to develop a dialogue, if you want to develop a good rapport with your friends, and particularly in English, you must know these expressions. So when you go to the college and when you meet your friends, you have to say good morning Raj, good morning Sanju, good morning Pinky, hi, hello. At around 12 o'clock, you can say good noon. And after that, we can say good afternoon, and also good evening at around when sun goes to set, we can say good evening. In this way, we can say these expressions. So hi and hello are also used to start the conversation. Now I shall turn my attention to the second point. This is the first point. Good greeting people and introducing yourself is the first point. The student participants who are attending this lecture, I request them to note down these points. So the first point, greeting people and introducing yourself, which I just covered. Then we shall take practice after that. If we have time, we can take practice of these things. Asking questions and getting information is the second point. The second point that I would like to focus on is asking questions and getting information. So in everyday communication, we do not stop by saying only good morning. It is not the way to start and end the conversation. So we must know how to start and how to end the conversation. So between there are some stages, some steps which we should know. That's why I tell you about this second point, and it is asking questions and getting information. What about asking questions?